What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Dylan Mathews back at it again with another hometown take. Today I'm talking about the Atlanta Falcons. Yes, the Falcons, because it's mock draft, not mock draft month. It's been mock draft month, mock draft time, all that good stuff. It is draft month, the official draft month. We are less than a month away. April 28th is the 2022 NFL draft. So I know we deep in Atlanta Hawks. Postseason is the last week of the regular season for the NBA, and the Atlanta Hawks are going to at least make the play-in, still have a very outside chance to make the playoffs. Just, they have a very outside chance to get the 6th seed, but probably not going to happen, probably at the play-in. But the point is, I know we're deep into the Atlanta Hawks season. The channel's going to be Atlanta Hawks heavy until the draft, but for now, I do have to give you guys another mock draft, and I'm also pretty much reacting to Mel Kiper's latest mock draft. So we're gonna get right into it, but before we do that, we gotta handle some business. So make sure you 1, like this video, 2, subscribe to the channel, 3, comment your thoughts down below on this video, and you already know number 4 is to click that link above to buy me coffee. That'll fuel this channel, help fuel the Atlanta Falcons to a great draft, because we need it, because we ain't got nobody. All right, let's go ahead and get right into the video. The Atlanta Falcons, we already know, got the 8th overall pick, and they keeping that thing because we didn't get Deshaun Watson, and we traded Matt Ryan. So yeah, anywho, we have the 8th overall pick. What are we going to do with it? Are we gonna go defense? And by defense, is that gonna be an edge rusher? Is it gonna be a linebacker? Is it gonna be a cornerback? Not a quarterback, but a cornerback. Could we go quarterback? Or could we go wide receiver? It's all up in the air. Ain't no telling what we're gonna do. I think we should go defense personally, but one draft expert, Mel Kiper, has put out his latest mock draft, and in his latest mock draft, or at least the latest one that I saw, he has the Atlanta Falcons taking, drumroll, one Drake London. Yes, the wide receiver, the big body wide receiver out of USC with the number 8 overall pick. Now, I will say this, I've read scouting reports. I haven't watched too much film on Drake London, but I do like Drake London, but I am just of that opinion that we need to go defense in this draft, especially with the number 8 overall pick. I think we need to spend it on a defensive player, whether that's a cornerback, whether that's a linebacker, or whether that's an edge rusher. First things first, first things foremost, if Aiden Hutchinson or Kayvon Thibodeau fall to number 8, which I'm not sure either one of them will. Now, Kayvon might. There's an outside chance that Kayvon Thibodeau could fall to number 8. And if he does, you scoop him up. I don't care who else is out there, but you scoop him up. Unless Aiden Hutchinson is there too, which that would be really crazy. But anywho, if Kayvon Thibodeau or Aiden Hutchinson are there, you scoop them up, hands down, no question about it. If Trayvon Walker is there out of Georgia, you scoop him up, no doubt, no debate, no question about it. The way his draft stock is really rising, he was already a good player, but now it's coming to the light that he's a good player, and a really good player at that. So those 3 edge rushers are there. I think you take them without a doubt. Now, when it comes to George Karlaftis, the edge rusher out of Purdue, I wouldn't be mad. Now, I think if he's there, I think you take him, but I would not be upset if the Falcons take, Ahmad Sauce Gardner or Derek Stingley Jr. over him, because, I do like the idea of having that second go-to cornerback, your second young, hopefully dynamic cornerback next to A.J. Terrell. We know A.J. Terrell is great. He should have been an All-Pro this year. So we know he's good. He's our number 1 corner. We did get Casey Hayward. Now he's older. He's not going to be around that long, but he can mentor up A.J. Terrell. And if we do draft another corner, he can mentor up that rookie corner as well. So we'll have a veteran and 2 dynamic cornerbacks in the backfield. So I like the idea, especially now that we added Casey Hayward, of adding another cornerback to go, because like I said, Casey Hayward can mentor them. They'll already be good coming in, and we can have some lockdown corners with A.J. Terrell, Casey Hayward, and whoever we bring in. Now, again, we're not gonna be that good this year, but again, it'll be good experience because there's a lot of play time, all that good stuff. So I like the idea of the Atlanta Falcons going after a cornerback if, Derek Stingley or Ahmad Gardner are there. If those two aren't there, then, I ain't with it. So, like I said, I'm thinking either Kayvon Thibodeaux, I'm thinking either Aiden Hutchinson if they're there, but there's an outside chance there is. If they're not, maybe Trayvon Walker. If not him, George Karlaftis. If not them, Ahmad Gardner or Derek Stingley Jr. So one of those, at least, come on now. Come on, football gods. At least one of those guys I named have to at least be there at 8 because I done listed off like 8 people already. Anywho, I think the Falcons should go that route. And even if they don't go that route, then they should go offensive lineman, whether it's Charles Cross or, one of the other good offensive linemen, top offensive linemen, because you got to think, maybe the Saints, there's rumors that they might trade up for a quarterback now that they did that trade with the Eagles and got 2 first-round picks. Maybe the Detroit Lions go quarterback. So there might be a little shakeup to where one of the top guys might fall for you, whether it's one of the top defensive linemen or one of the top offensive linemen or one of the top cornerbacks. So I think between either defensive end, cornerback, or offensive lineman, I think you can get a top tier guy for sure at number 8. So I think you need to address one of those positions with the number 8 overall pick and not wide receiver or quarterback. Now, if you draft Malik Willis, I ain't gonna be mad, I ain't gonna hate, I'll be straight, because he does seem like he's cool. I did a video on him and go check it out, but I wouldn't be too mad. I'm warming up to the fact that, Malik Willis is there, we could draft him, I'm cool, let him learn, I guess, behind Marcus Mariota. So that's what that is. But for me, it's either edge rusher, cornerback, or offensive lineman. I think you got to deal with the trenches or the backfield because those were your 2 worst positions last year, and you got to address it. So that's me. But like I said, Mel Kiper Jr. has us drafting Drake London, the USC wide receiver. And again, I have no ill will towards Drake London. Actually, I think he's one of the best wide receivers, and obviously the, Mel Kipers and Todd McShays of the world, because Todd McShay and Mel Kiper both agreed on this pick in the latest mock draft that they did, with Drake London going number 8 to the Atlanta Falcons. So here's what they said. Bleacher Report actually made an article about, their picks and whatnot. So from Bleacher Report, this is what Todd McShay and Mel Kiper said. McShay and Kiper agreed that quarterback Marcus Mariota needs another player to throw to in 2022. The Falcons selected tight end Kyle Pitts in the 2021 draft, but they need another pass catcher, which, we kind of do. But I will address this in a second. This came out before free agency really hit, and we signed all these wide receivers, all these kind of like no-name wide receivers, but wide receivers in general. Anywho, to continue, that said, the draft analysts landed on London being selected with the 8th overall pick. However, they noted Garrett Wilson could also be an option. I like Garrett Wilson too. He is also another dude that could be the best wide receiver in this draft. Quote, Todd McShay said, give me Drake London here and pair him up with Pitts, and now I've got a basketball team out there fielding the football downfield, McShay said. London is expected, unquote. London is expected to be one of the top receivers off the board in this year's draft after catching 88 passes for 1,084 yards and 7 touchdowns for the Trojans in 2021. So there you have it. Again, in a different world, in a different multiverse, maybe, because like I said, Drake London is good. I was reading up his scouting report. Like I said, I haven't watched too much film on him, but Drake London is a very good wide receiver. He's a very good route runner, crisp route runner. He's a big body. His lateral quickness isn't too crazy, but that's because he's so big, but he's gonna win jump balls out there, still get separation because of his great route running. He understands zone concepts, so he knows when to sit in the soft spot of a zone, and he's very friendly to the quarterback. When he sees the quarterback moving one way, he knows to follow the quarterback and help his quarterback out. So he is a very polished prospect. The only really downside to Drake London is, like I said, his lateral speed, but he'll still get separation because of his good route running, and his blocking isn't consistent, but he at least gives effort in blocking. And as long as he's giving that effort, he can get coached up with the blocking part because he is a big body, so he'll be able to block well. It's just his blocking technique and that kind of stuff isn't consistent. But I'm not really worried about that because, like I said, the coaches will coach him up and get him blocking right. It's his effort. If his effort is there, which it is, he'll be fine. So there's really no downside to Drake London, it seems like. So like I said, would I hate it? No. I just don't think it's the route that we should go. We need to build this team from the inside out. Now that this team is like blown up for real, go it. Even though Arthur Blank, Terry Fontenot, Arthur Smith, even though they won't physically say the word rebuild, this is a rebuild or a transition or whatever the duck you want to call it. We need to build this team from the inside out. Start with the trenches and then build outward. Because guess what? When we get a new quarterback in here, when we finally get that new quarterback, because Marcus Mariota is just a bridge, I think we can all agree on that. When we do get a new quarterback in here, and when we get the quarterback that's supposed to be the franchise guy, the next franchise guy, it'll be nice if he can have an offensive line. It'll be nice if he can have a solid defense to rely on. You know, those things would kind of be nice to give a young quarterback. So we're not putting all the pressure of the world and all the pressure of a franchise on his back and his back alone. So that's why I'm saying, either get an edge rusher, which we desperately need. We need it since Jonathan Abraham, since we've needed a pass rusher since last decade. Get a pass rusher. Get an offensive lineman to protect this new quarterback and protect Marcus Mariota for a couple of years. Or get a corner, a young stud corner, next to your other young stud corner. I'm okay with that too. But address the trenches, I think, first and foremost. That's me. That's me though. But if y'all want a shiny new receiver, Drake London, that's cool, like, I guess. But I just don't think, personally, that's the way we need to build our football team right now. A football team that is rebuilding. So let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. Mel Kiper saying Drake London or Garrett Wilson at 8. I'm thinking we need to go trenches. But let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. Again, make sure you like this video, comment your thoughts, subscribe to the channel, and check out the link above to buy me a coffee to help fuel this channel, help fuel the Atlanta Falcons to a great draft, because we desperately need it. Appreciate y'all watching, and until I talk to you guys next time, stay true to Atlanta, believe in Atlanta, go Falcons, peace.